people in love, dreaming of happily ever afters. The woman gets killed and suddenly the film is all about badle ki aag? Does that sound like a familiar storyline? A female character is brutally murdered and that leads to a character transformation in the hero who decides to avenge her death. So is anybody caring about the woman there? Such plots are so common that they have a name. Women in refrigerators or fridging, and in this video we'll take you through it. What is the fridging trope? The woman in refrigerators trope was first identified by American writer Gail Simone in 1999 when she compiled a list of instances where female comic book characters were tortured, injured or murdered for the sake of furthering a male character's heroic journey. And the list was surprisingly long. The name Women in Refrigerators is inspired from a 1994 issue of the Green Lantern comics, where our superhero's girlfriend is brutally murdered and stuffed into a refrigerator, literally, for him to find. The idea of the fridged women points out to the general tendency to use women as plot devices across movies, TV shows, comic books, and even web series. Why is that a problem? The problem with putting women in refrigerators is that it sidelines female characters, reducing them to one-dimensional objects, as if their only purpose is to move forward a male character's story arc rather than as fully developed characters in their own right. This speaks volumes on how women are presented as disposable characters to the masses, discarding any impact or value that they can offer. Fridging off a loved one then becomes a quick way to advance the story, drive emotional gravity, and present the hero as a tortured soul who's so worthy of the audience's sympathy.
It's brutal out here.
Trivializing gender-based violence. From Christopher Nolan's movies to Tamil cop films with Bollywood in the middle, violence against women is heavily used as a plot device. Just in case you're wondering that male characters get killed too, this is not about gender, huh? DC Comics editor Joan Hilty has best summed it up. It's not about how often things are done, but how and to whom certain things are done. The sexually violent visual language of how the female characters get killed and molested is consistent. And while the conversation could reflect upon the violence and trauma it carries, it becomes about the hero's reaction to it. For example, in the case of Yami Gautam's character in the film Kabil, the focus is on how Hrithik Roshan's character reacts to the sexual violence and completely ignoring the survivor's personal trauma. It is also problematic because the extreme violence or death is framed as a kind of failure of masculinity, as a direct result of the hero's failure to protect the women. At the end of the day, these perspectives are tinted by male gaze, as women lack control over their own stories. At a time when we should be acknowledging gender-based violence and the power structures that add to it, these films end up popularizing it. The more women we see on our screens as sacrifice sidekicks, the more likely are we to believe that they lack agency and autonomy in real life as well. What we need is sensibility in writing these characters and using cinema as the medium. What are some movies that you have noticed this trope in? Tell us in the comments below. And for more desi intersectional feminist content, subscribe to Feminism in India.